Thanks for staying with us. It's a conversation that we certainly have been looking forward to all morning. It seems that cheating is on the rise again after everybody was caged up during lockdown. That's according to the Infidelity dating app, Ashley Madison, who released a report called Love Beyond Lockdown.
Now, the data is showing frustration with being cooped up with your significant other, and a lack of intimacy are driving people to take part in extramarital affairs. Well, let's discuss this further. We're joined by relationship expert Paula Quinsee, who's joining us via Zoom this morning.
Indeed, Paula, thank you so much for joining us. Now, obviously, this is a research being done by an app or a platform that has a very specific market. Indeed, it encourages infidelity, as it were. That's their unique selling point. And their report has shown that there was an initial dip of around 10% in their membership right at the start of hard lockdown, because obviously that went through the world in stages as the virus or the pandemic started spreading. Interestingly, that there was a 10% dip because obviously lockdown made it very difficult to act on your infidelity in a physical sense. But that seems to have now bounced back as many regulations are being lifted in various parts of the world, and it's now seen an increase in those seeking to step outside of their relationships of whatever sort.
Yes, when people are wanting to reach out to their significant other or behind the scenes, people will find a way to do it. And being online is no different than doing it face to face. We can find all sorts of reasons and excuses as to why we are online or who we are talking to online.
And now, in your experience or from what you've seen, I mean, we've had conversations during lockdown with relationship experts who have spoken about the pressure that lockdown has put on relationships. But we've seen that go in different ways. You've seen an increase in people going into relationships, announcing that they're getting married. And we've also seen those things going in a different direction, because being cooped up or in lockdown with your significant other does kind of expose certain things that perhaps you would have papered over before. What has been your observation locally?
Absolutely. I am seeing both sides of the spectrum. So where couples already had a rocky relationship to begin with, going into lockdown or confinement has obviously just put a spotlight on that, and being confined in each other's space without a way of escaping. So in other words, going to the work or going to the office or getting out of the house has just put added pressure on, resulting in a lot of relationships or couples seeking or inquiring about divorces. And we've obviously seen the divorce rate spike increase globally as well as locally. And then on the other hand, I myself did a little survey within my networks, and a lot of couples have said that being in lockdown has actually brought them closer together. Spending more time in each other's space or environment, helping out with responsibilities at home. So, for example, childcare and household chores and stuff has brought a lot of couples feeling like they are closer together than before lockdown. So it has had positives and negatives on both sides.
Paula, I was about to ask you about that, because you always, when in relationships and marriage, whatever the status might be, spending quality time together is the one thing that's taken away ordinarily, because you're at the office, you're at work, your boss is on top of you. But as you say, this is now starting to actually have a positive spin as well. But as I'm sure you've been hearing, Paula, that there's reports and concerns around a second wave of COVID-19, another spike, if you will. Now that we've all experienced the first one, cheating is up, infidelity is up, divorces are up, but there are positives. How do we get ready for the second wave, knowing now what we know?
So I think this is, COVID has given us a chance to reflect on life, meaning of life, what is important to us versus what is valuable. So important things like relationships, freedom of movement, family, friends, quality of life versus what's valuable. So we've realized that there's so many things that we can do without. Now, when it comes to relationships, a lot of people or individuals are claiming that, suffering from digital fatigue. We've all heard about this. A lot of people are saying that they're working longer hours than before, and working hours are blurring into personal hours, which brings back that frustration that a lot of couples were experiencing around, my partner's always at work, they're working late, they work long hours, we don't spend time together. And it's really no different now, where people are spending long time, hours online, whether it's work-related or other. And it's causing those same frustrations where I'm not feeling valued, I'm not feeling visible, I'm not feeling appreciated, I'm feeling neglected, I'm feeling lonely. And reaching out in ways to get that connection and that attention that they're seeking or craving from their partner.
Now, feelings are one thing, but dishonesty is very much at the core when one is discussing infidelity. But the coronavirus pandemic has brought with it a layer of risk and danger outside of what one has experienced before. Obviously, if it's a sexual relationship you're involved in, there's always a physical danger that you're bringing something into your home or into your relationship that could be quite dangerous. But the coronavirus has added an even extra layer to that. Do you think there's an understanding from those who have decided that, in as much as they don't feel wanted or whatever their reasons are for stepping outside of the relationship, that there is an extra layer of danger that they might be bringing a virus into their household, into their family, or into their relationship by deciding to cheat?
So I think people may understand it, but when let's say hormones and emotions take over, it's not that different to when you're having a physical affair pre-COVID, where, you know, the risk of catching HIV, AIDS or STDs, you know, this is just another risk that you're adding to that. And some people are prepared to take that risk.
All right, Paula Quinsee, thank you very much indeed. Relationship expert speaking to us about infidelity during lockdown.